Welcome back. I'm going to take you through a quick demonstration of the Geo module and mapping in Discoverer. So if I open Discoverer here, you can see I've just got the blank workspace and the System Explorer on the left. If I click on the mapping tool, we get a mapping window and Bing Maps will appear here. So how do I populate that with some interesting visualizations? Well, I can take from the File Explorer area a geo variable like postcode, area, district or sector, and drop that into the layer tab. So if I take postcode area, drag that over here, drop it onto the geographic variable, we can then build this map to show all of the database broken down by postcode area. Now you'll see 1,096,000 people have now been displayed, and if we zoom in using the scroll wheel on my mouse, I can see various areas here where LE, for example, has 18,000 people. OX postcode there is unpopulated for some reason. Then we've got SN with 8,000 people and so on. So you can see quickly a breakdown of the UK. That could be more granular if we use postcode district. So let's take that, drop that in here, rebuild the map, and the Bing integration will help us to see that. Now you can see how granular we have gone there. So if I zoom in, for example, I could right click on the map and say to search for my location. So whether it's a town name or a postcode like our office here in Warwick, I can search for the postcode. Bing will find it, and there we are on Jury Street. You can see the red dot has found the centre of that postcode. So right now I could ask Bing to do some clever things, or the FastStats integration should I say. I can say let's do a drive time around that area. Imagine this is a retail outlet and we want to communicate with people within a 30-minute drive time. I can type in 30 minutes in here. You'll see it also supports distance, but here we'll do a drive time. And now the red lines that you see being drawn on the map is our development work with Bing calculating the distance that can be reached in a 30-minute drive time, and now it's already finished that, and you can see there is a shaded shape there, which is the drive time area. So that's how far we could drive given 30 minutes. It doesn't take into account any of the traffic conditions, etc. It's just working on road speeds and so on. But that now has created the drive time, which has created a layer for us over here. You can see we've got drive time 1. And if I want to grab hold of everybody that sits within that area as a selection, I can simply click on the layer here, drag it down to the drop zone at the bottom, and when I let go, the system will convert that into a selection of people. Now it's used postcode postcode district to do that, and you can see the highlighted districts that it can drive to in that time here in the selection. And if I run a count on that, we'll see that 33,000 people can be captured within that 30-minute drive time. But a very good way of being able to maybe select for a campaign how many people can be reached within a certain time, whether that's a retail outlet, an event like an exhibition, etc. The drive time is quite powerful. Now I can delete that from the view if I want to, and my search, so it removes it from the view we have on the screen here. Incidentally, the shading areas that we see here can be changed by the settings on the left hand side. So I can choose whether they're visible or hidden for each layer, but I could choose whether to represent it in a different way. So maybe rather than an actual map shape, so a postcode area shape, if you like, being represented, we could change that for different circles to show the postcode districts in this case, and you can see those dots shown on the map there. You can change the opacity of things so you can see whether it's stronger or more faded. It gives you the ability to build up multiple layers and views. And here we have a scheme system which lets you choose default scheme. So if I choose a different color like grey or orange, you see that it will change that breakdown as well. If we go back to the shaded area, for example, now you'll see it looks a little bit different there because of the scheme I'm on, but let's choose one of the other schemes. You can see there's a variety that can be chosen, and the reason that some of the shapes disappear is that we have to try and render the shapes in the detail that we can at any point, so it's just catching up when we zoom out with the web service and the Bing integration in terms of rendering those shapes on the screen. So we've looked at doing shaded maps, but we can actually do plot maps for groups of people as well. So our selection here is basically blank, the whole database, but we could choose to plot onto the map a certain type of individual, a selection from our database. So for example, why don't we pick people by the region of northwest, and I'm going to restrict it down now to people with a certain income, just so we don't get too many pins in the map. So now I'll choose some of the higher incomes there, and if I go back to the map screen, I can change the layer that we want now from shaded to a plot map. I now have to choose a different geographic variable to be able to show that. So now I need the full postcode. So this is the textual version of the full postcode, and I've now put that onto the screen there. So now when we rebuild the map, we can not only show where people live, but there are options within the system to show more than that. And actually, just to get that on the screen, I can rebuild the map now, and you'll see that we start to plot my selection. So here the pins start appearing in the right region that we saved in the selection. We can see the pins appearing, and if I hover over there, we can see the person's URN and how that's been geocoded, etc. And the system reports on the success of its geocoding. You can see there that 2 failed to be geocoded, and we now have pins in the map showing where all of those people live based on the selection. So I hope that's been useful. There are more capabilities within the mapping functions within FastStats, because we include functions within the expression tool, and we also include wizards that help with geo capabilities as well. So here you'll see several wizards that help with different calculations. So being able to do multiple drive time zones, that's a possibility. Also, I haven't mentioned that we can allow users to create their own reference map. So if you want to upload your own list of store locations with the postcodes, you can use a reference map to do that. So you can have a layer on the map that represents your retail outlets, for example, and that obviously also is very important to a lot of our customers.